All right, everybody, welcome to our Team Fresh and Fit weekly call. Today is May the something, and I have no idea because I'm crazy right now. I'm a senior graduating high school. I think it's somewhere around the 12th, maybe. Is that right? Oh, good. Yay. So for those of you that are new coaches on our team and new to the call this week, we just sort of welcome you. This is what we do every Thursday night. We get together, we share ideas, we share best practices, and every now and then we're fortunate enough to have an amazing guest speaker like we have tonight. So welcome to Ashley Smith, who comes to us from Georgia. We're so excited to have you on and just so grateful to get some of your inside scoop on what you guys are doing on your team. I'm going to let Brandy do a formal introduction for you, but I just want to remind you guys to be following the team calendar. You should be promoting and inviting like crazy to your May Challenge group right now and talking to people in private messenger, getting with them, going over their goals and getting them set up with their challenge pack to start working on their goals. So if you're behind, it's okay. Just start now. Jump on board. You can, of course, jump in a challenge group with your upline or grab a few coach friends of yours and start one of your own. This is the perfect time of year because everybody's thinking about that swimsuit they're going to put on for Memorial Day weekend and into the summer. So follow the team calendar. Any other news and information updates you can find in the Monday news flash post that I do for you guys every week. So go back to Monday in the team page and you can find anything else you need to be alerted about. I did post some really cool news earlier in my personally sponsored coaches team page about a company that Beachbody has teamed up with, and they've endorsed a lot of our products in the performance line. So that's super exciting. So look out for info on that. Let me see. Brandy, are you on? Let me see if I can find her.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I couldn't see you for a second. I'm going to let you introduce Ashley, and I really just want, you guys be sure and take notes. I want Ashley to have as much time as possible tonight to share with us. We're so excited about our recruiting campaign we have going on and just continuing to refine and hone our skills as we grow our team. So, Brandy, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you do an intro to Ashley for us. So take it away.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I am so excited to have Ashley speaking to us tonight. Ashley and I are on the Atlanta Market Council together, so we help plan the Super Saturdays and everything that kind of surrounds that and any other events that come to the Atlanta area. And I've been so blessed to get to know her. She is a follower of Jesus like most of us. I know that's our core mission for our team, and she puts her faith and her passion for that in everything she does, and one of the reasons that I respect her so much. And then she prioritizes her family. Our core mission is faith first, family second, and then fitness or business third, and she is such an example of that. And just a sweetheart, has a new baby. Well, I say new. He's what?
He's 8 months now. I know. He started crawling this week. He's not little anymore.
Yeah, but such a cutie. And she obviously, in all of her social media, you can see that her family's her priority as well. But she has seen crazy, awesome things happen in her business because she is relentless about what she does and offering consistency for her business and for her team and duplicatable systems. And that's what she's going to share with us about tonight, about how she attracts her dream team and then how she gets them started strong. So to tell you a little bit about Ashley, she was a 2015 elite coach, only been in the business for about 17 months. She joined in November of 2014. So if anybody knows how to take this and run with it, it's her. She started building her business working full-time as a teacher. So it wasn't like she was sitting at home with nothing to do and could devote all of her time to it. She just saw what she wanted. She went after it, and she made it happen. She's currently 8-star diamond, but I think that's probably going to change any day now because I know she's pushing for 10-star. And she is ranked number 15 in the entire company. So you guys need to listen to her and take what she says to heart, take incredible notes tonight, and apply it to your business, because I guarantee you, if you apply what she's doing and what she's sharing with you tonight, you're going to see change happen in your business as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Ashley. Thank you so much for being on, and I can't wait I'm going to be taking notes voraciously as well. So take it and run with it. And I know you have some things to screen share, so whatever you need to do, we're excited to learn from you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited. I'm sure I'll talk like a million miles a minute because I always do. So First, I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys are moms and like have kids? Because I feel like a lot of this stuff will relate to you, and a lot of you look like your moms. So that's great. And I tried to throw in some examples of things from before I had my baby and when I was teaching and stuff too. So hopefully I can kind of touch on everybody. But so tonight I'm going to screen share me. I see the chat button. And I'm going to give you this PowerPoint. So in any of the documents and stuff you guys can have, I will send them over to Brandy when we're done. So you just let me know if something spoke to you, and I'm happy to share it. Sharing is caring in my book. So I'm going to be talking to you. Let me screen share. I'm going to be talking to you guys about recruiting your, let's see, can you guys see this? Let me know if you can see the whole screen. Can you all see that? Yeah, hopefully. Maybe somebody say yes, I can't see you anymore. Brandy, are we good? Can y'all see that?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. Okay, I can't see anybody anymore. So, okay, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about recruiting your dream team and getting them started right. So this has been something that I have been honing in on and forming and molding and trying to make the best that it can be. And I can tell you that right now, this system has been kind of the thing that I've worked on for so long. And I feel like it's finally the one thing that has transformed my business. And I think it's taken time and effort, obviously, and just lots of kind of just changing little things here and there and figuring out what works best for everyone. And this has been it. So I'm really excited to get to share it with you. And actually, you guys are the first call I've ever shared it with, so that's exciting. So the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is, you guys hear about mindset all the time, but it really is so important. This business is, yes, you have your reason and you have your why, and that's all about us, but it's really about your mission. It's not about you, it's all about them and the people that you want to work with. So for me, for the longest time, and I have so many coaches that I talk to all the time where they're trying to convince other coaches that they need to join this business and telling them, you know, that it's all about you, the personally, and it's not. It is about them. We have this gift. Coaching is an absolute amazing gift, and we all know it, but we want people to join because they know it, because they know that it can benefit them. You don't want to have to try to buy somebody over and try to swoon them in because you know, but they don't know yet, because a lot of times that doesn't develop a good coach. They're hesitant from the beginning, and so that's a lot harder to kind of mold them into the kind of coach that you want them to be. So let them know that, you know, you're the one doing them a favor. You are doing an amazing thing by giving them this gift of coaching. And so when you kind of make that shift and remember that what you have is a gift and not to feel ashamed about it or anything, then you're going to just fly with it. The next thing I want to talk about, and we're going to go into this later on, but just the idea of being a challenger versus a coach. A lot of times, and towards the beginning of my business, I was finding that I was focusing a lot on challenge groups. And while that's amazing, really when I started to focus on solely on recruiting and bringing in new coaches, that was kind of them being a challenger in and of itself. So I was bringing in new coaches and also putting them in a challenge group as they're going through their training, and they're getting the best of both worlds. They're becoming a challenger while they're also learning their coach new basics, everything. And they just started off so much stronger than when I solely focused on just trying to get a bunch of, you know, Success Club points purely for the challenge group side. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how important it is too in a little bit. And then I just love this quote by a coach of mine. A life change is far greater than any star added to your rank. So a lot of times, you know, we're so focused on rank and those different stars and moving forward, and that's all great and it's fun. But just remember that this is for other people. We all have our why and why we're coaching for us. But recently I've been doing so many trainings and so many personal development things that I've been talking about our mission. Our mission is about other people. So I love that, having that idea in your mind that I have my own why. I'm doing it for my family and for me and for my own accountability and self-confidence and to help my family out. But I have a mission, and that mission is to help other people and to empower women and to make them feel confident and loved and cherished. And so for me, that's my mission. So I encourage you guys to think about what your mission is, what it is that you're doing this for other people, because that's what will really change your mind. So, and then the last thing for this mindset part is growing yourself as a leader. when you're constantly working on you, naturally everything else is going to fall into place. When you try to focus on fixing all these other people around you and trying to make them do all these different things and all these different tasks, and you forget about you, a lot of times it's just this push and pull, and it's not going to ease into it. So the minute that I started just focusing on me, doing my own personal development, my own workout journey, and sharing my own stuff and working on me, naturally my relationships were better. I was bringing on more coaches, and everything just kind of fell in. So I want for you to think about that too. Don't ever stop working on yourself as a leader. You are all leaders, no matter if you're just a coach rank or emerald or a ruby or diamond or above there. You have to continue to work on you for you to be able to let that ripple effect kind of show and bring on new coaches and successful coaches. So one of the things that has helped me in my recruiting has been challenge groups, like we talked about. And a lot of times, so for me right now as an 8-star diamond, and I have a few other PS diamonds, my success club, my ratio is generally probably about 80% new coaches. My success club points come from 80% new coaches and about 20% of just people that are purely challenge groups. So you see what I mean, where I have that mindset of recruiting because I know that new coaches are going to come in, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in a challenge group anyways, as if they were a challenger. So I'm kind of just bringing them all in together. So these challenge groups that you have, that you're hosting, hopefully for my team, we host a free group and a paid group every single month. And that is the best place to kind of mold your future coaches. In there, you have the control. You have the ability to help your challengers get amazing results, to create that team culture within your challenge groups. You know, you have your team, but your challenge group is another team really in and of itself. And so for me, I really focus on making it feel like a fit community. And the way that I do that is pure accountability and having so much, really building that relationship. You know, we're a business all in relationships, and that is seriously the biggest thing about creating trust and passion and excitement in your customers, but also in your coaches. So that accountability is key. If you're not using that challenge tracker app, I really encourage you to try using it just next time, or even try it with just a couple of friends if they're just looking for some free accountability, something to get you used to it, because that has made the difference with some of my challengers. In addition to using that, I'll show you some of the check-ins and things that I do in a little bit, but you know, doing check-ins with them, yes, post some helpful information, recipes, and ideas of different, you know, fit things that you can share with them in your groups, but also check in with them. Hold these girls accountable. They are here because, and guys too. My team is primarily women, but you know, men and women that are in these challenge groups, they're here because they need your support. So if you just put them in here and you don't support them at all, they're sure not going to want to become coaches. They don't feel like they've been supported. They don't know what that feels like. So, and then another thing that I do that's, you know, I have a lot of message threads with coaches, and I'll talk about that again in a little while, but I do that for my challengers too. Message threads with your challengers and this challenge tracker app that you can kind of use one or the other because they're pretty similar. But that allows me to have those people all in one group. We're constantly checking in. We're chatting every day as if they're my friends. And so that has been something that has really held them accountable too. And through that, you know, they see all the different check-ins, they see the ups and downs throughout the entire month. And a lot of times, almost all of them want to jump in as coaches. Another thing that you can do in challenge groups, I can't see you guys, but I don't know if you guys do sneak peeks into coaching in your challenge groups, but a lot of times I'll do a couple days where I'll kind of just share a little bit about coaching towards the end of the challenge and just let them know that, you know, coaching kind of becomes like, you kind of become a perma-challenger is what I call it, because, you know, we are our own challengers. We are constantly working on our fitness journey and our personal development, all those different things. And so that is, you know, that is kind of part of what coaching is. And so a lot of times when you're in those challenge groups, those people that are in there, they don't even realize that they could do what you do. So for me, when I'm in challenge groups, I'm looking at all the people and they're checking in and all this support that they're giving each other. I immediately start having people's names pop into my head and I'm like, oh my gosh, they would be an amazing coach. They would be an amazing coach. Wow, they are inspiring me today. And I let them know that. I check in with them. I say, hey, do you know how inspiring you are? You've been checking in and encouraging everyone every single day. You should so be a coach. You're doing exactly what I do every single day, and you could be getting paid for it. Have you thought about that? And a lot of times they're like, wait, what? Really? And so that's a great way to get in. That's kind of like the little phrase that I use with a lot of my challengers turned coaches. So a lot of times they just don't even know that their story can be inspiring. They don't know that just because they're checking in every day and being on their game, they don't know that that's good enough to be a coach. So a lot of times they just don't know that they could do it. And then also building value around Shakeology. Your challenge group is your opportunity to set the bar for the products, the accountability, the team culture, the feel, the relationships, and Shakeology, which is going to keep coaches coming back and keeping customers coming back. And so a lot of times, that can even bring on just a discount coach, which you guys know. But for me, I do weekly highlights of different ingredients in Shakeology. I will have girls who maybe are loving Shakeology make a little video about, a little quick testimony about how they're feeling different within just a week of drinking Shakeology. I try to get people that are doing a great job starting to chat a little bit in those groups and maybe hosting a day or making a video. And those are challengers. And those are girls that become coaches because I'm already putting them up to the challenge of kind of molding them into what a coach does. Okay, so the meat of our talk, how to attract your ideal coach. So obviously you guys have heard this quote, your vibe attracts your tribe. So for me, one of the biggest things, I'm going to kind of share, I might do it differently than a lot of other coaches do, but this is what has been so successful for me. I have a lot of people who ask, how many cold invites do you do a day? Or how many people do you invite? And I'm like, not very many, like maybe once a month while I sit down and do some cold invites. Even then it's not very many. So I'm going to kind of show you why I don't have to and what I do to make it like that. Because for me, that's just not what I like to do. And I form my posts in a way that is different to attract my ideal person that I would relate to. So one of the biggest things is to think about, obviously first, who do you want as your ideal coach? If you were to think of an avatar, you guys know when you play like a video game where you're on the computer and you have that little person that represents you, and a lot of times it's kind of a little graphic character that you can make look like you. Who would that be? What are some of the characteristics that they have? I mean, you can get specific and think about what they look like, but that's kind of superficial to me. For me, I just think about, the personality traits and the morals and the mission and the heart of the people that I want to work with. And you guys sound like you have a really great mission like that too, faith and family. And that's really similar to my team as well. Almost all of us are Christians and we all have a really strong faith and we have families and, we have just everything that we have is really, really similar. And so, I like to think about that characteristics, but also, target words that can relate to them when you're making your posts. If you're trying to target teachers or target, moms, business women, nurses, there's all kinds of things. So really be thinking about that when you're making your post. And then as you think about those characteristics, you're going to post to that person every single day. A lot of times I see coaches that are like, hey, you guys, like, check this out. Or, oh, ladies, are you wondering about da, 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 da? For me, that has not been successful. I want for people to look at my page and feel like I'm talking to them, like they're the only person I'm talking to. So when I'm talking, I'm saying you, and I'm talking about me, and then I'm talking about you, and it feels like you're reading from me to you. You feel like we're in a conversation, and that has been a really successful way for me to post and to attract that person, because as they're reading my feed, whether it's Instagram or my like page or Facebook, they are feeling like they're that other person that I'm talking to on the phone or in a text message or face to face. And then another thing, when you get far enough in your business, if you have a like page, it really does pay off. Obviously it's an investment at first, but it pays off to invest and have some sponsored posts and things that can target that person. And we can, if you guys have like pages, you can ask me a couple questions after this. I won't go into it since I don't know if all of you do, but I'd be happy to share some of the things that I do with that. But so the next thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm super passionate about this because I talk about this with my coaches all the time, and I call it sprinkling coaching into your post daily. So sprinkling is like my big thing. This is the way that I don't have to do any cold invites because I sprinkle coaching into everything that I do. So I'm going to go through and give you guys a bunch of ideas and just snapshots, and it may relate to you, it may not, but hopefully it kind of gives you a good idea of how talking about coaching doesn't have to be a, hey, I'm a coach, join my team type thing. Obviously, there are a lot of times where I have done sneak peeks into coaching, and I, have a graphic, and I'll show you what I mean by that, where I say, join my sneak peek into coaching. And that's a good, that's good. I do those maybe once a month when we host different sneak peeks, but I like to just make it feel like this. So this is my quote that I always tell my coaches: treat your social media pages like they are your journal. every day let people get a glimpse into your life as if they were reading your daily entry. So for me, my followers, and one of the biggest things that I hear from girls who message me and who want to join as a coach, and I don't even know them before our conversation starts, is, hey, I've been following you for a month or such and such amount of months, and I feel like I know you because I love following your posts every single day. And when that happens, when I get that kind of message, I'm like, yes, my mission is done, because I want them to feel like they know me. I don't want to feel like some stranger that's just a face behind a screen. I want them to feel my emotion and feel the ups and downs of what's going on in my life every single day. And so I'm going to kind of show you a couple ideas of things that I've done to share about coaching without being like, I'm a coach. This is a Beachbody coach. This is what a Beachbody coach does. I talk about being a girl boss and a mom boss, and I don't even say anything that's about Beachbody in any of my posts. So I try to be pretty discreet. And so in this one, you see like my son sleeping in the car, and I'm like, oh, he fell asleep. I guess it's time for me to get some stuff done in the car, get my mom boss tasks done. And so it's just a picture of me, and I'm just talking about a couple things that I've done that day and what I'm doing in the car and how I'm able to work on my own time. In this post, they get a glimpse into my life. I'm getting to go out and run errands in the middle of the day. I don't even know what time this was at, probably in the morning sometime. And I'm with my son during the day, and I'm also working in the car. Something as simple as that. They're starting to get a glimpse. Somebody who's wanting that kind of lifestyle is starting to get a glimpse into what my life is like. Here's another one. Does it look like I'm about to go to work right now? I know, right? It doesn't, but I am. And I'm sitting here on the floor with a glass of wine, talking about a little bit of my day, and then talking about how I love to get to unwind with some of my girlfriends. And by girlfriends, I mean like my best coach friends. And so I talk about a little bit about that, and how I love calling this work because it doesn't even feel like it. Another one, a lot of times, for me, what I have found to be more successful is not sharing just graphic posts of quotes and stuff. I like to kind of make it my own. And so I take ideas of different quotes and I put words on it, and I use different apps and stuff. And then I just kind of talk about my day. So you guys are starting to see, obviously I'm not going to read all these posts to you, but you're starting to kind of see that as I'm posting, it does feel like a journal entry. This morning I'm able to see that, hey, I had a long night. I was up at 6 a.m. and, this is what I'm kind of doing with my morning. And now I'm about to go after my goals. So it's kind of just, again, giving them a little glimpse into my life. This one, mobile office, work anywhere, anytime. Again, somebody who's like, man, I wish I could work from home or make my own hours. They're getting a glimpse into what this whole coaching thing is. And I literally have people message me and say, okay, what is your job? I saw that you were like working on a couch today. Like, what is this coaching thing you're talking about? And they don't know that it's Beachbody. And that's always my goal. I don't want for them to come in and have this, this taste of maybe they had a bad experience with a Beachbody coach, quote unquote. I want them just to know that this is the lifestyle that I've created because of this amazing opportunity. And that allows me to be able to give them and set the tone and let them know about what this is, what this job is for flexibility and freedom, and how I'm so grateful for it. Another one, for me, I, again, like to kind of share my lifestyle. Again, like Brandy said, my family is super important to me. So there's a lot of posts where my husband's in them or my baby, because they're a huge part of this and a huge part of why I'm doing this business. And so this one, is not necessarily about the coaching opportunity, but a little bit about our lifestyle. From this, they get that my husband's involved in me. They get that we're doing a program together. They get that we are not making excuses after a big Beachbody Super Saturday event, but we're getting our workout done. And again, just kind of talks to that accountability and that lifestyle that I'm a part of. Another kind of like work when you want, where you want to go. This is us going on a trip, and I'm working in the car talking about a personal development book. So again, they're starting to get this idea of they're learning that I do personal development, that I listen to audiobooks. Again, just kind of forming this idea around what my lifestyle is like. So I'm hoping that these are kind of giving you guys some ideas of different ways to talk about coaching, because it doesn't have to be that standard way of, I'm a coach, want to know what I do, or I'm looking for this kind of person. And those are all great kinds of posts. But I'm talking about your everyday posts. These are just everyday posts that I make just randomly throughout the day. And almost every single post that I make has something to do about coaching, something about how I love my life now, because I think back to what I wish I could have done back then and what I'm able to do now. And I'm so grateful, and I cannot help but share about that, because I know that it's a gift I know that somebody who's watching is going to need that gift too, that it's going to bless their life as well. So again, here I'm talking about that, getting to spend just afternoon a day with my son. And it's like, oh my gosh, for me, I'm so grateful that I get to do that, because I never thought this would even be an opportunity that would be possible. This is a funny one from last week, talking about, again, giving some team culture. It's funny, like I'm trying to help you during the call, but I don't want anyone to know. And it's just, they're getting an idea of, okay, my nights, sometimes I have calls with my girls and it's fun. Another way to share about coaching and the opportunity. This is what I was talking about earlier. Randomly, I will do posts like this. Just a little bit about coaching, an invite to a sneak peek or a backstage pass. And so this is kind of a more traditional way. And I will say that I used to do these a lot more, but in the last probably 8, 9, 10 months, I pretty much don't do these anymore. And I thread coaching, I sprinkle it into every post like you've seen in the past of these other examples. And that is so much more successful. That causes an influx of people just all the time coming in asking questions, whether they turn into coaches or not. They're starting to see my lifestyle more than when only once a month I was posting this. So you kind of get my gist of how it's important to just kind of be consistent and sharing about it all the time. Again, this is another way to share about it. I had my computer screen talking about, they see the live sneak peek behind there, and they see, some products and things like that. I'm not talking about anything else, but just kind of saying, this is kind of a sneak peek into my life. Like I got to sleep in a little bit, and I'm so joyful and thankful for a couple of these things, and got to stay home and, feed my son. Actually, that's something that a lot of moms can't say that they get to do. And so that's, again, just another way to kind of just discreetly share about coaching. And this one, another one, talking about freedom. Freedom is kind of like my word this year. Getting to be home with my son has been pretty much the best gift that God could have ever given me. And this is back from before I had my son, so I was very pregnant here. But talking about the friendships, if you're not a mom and you're listening to this call and you're not a wife, talk about, I have coaches that aren't in the same with me. They aren't moms. They aren't, they don't have a kid. But, you can talk about so much about coaching. You can talk about the relationships and the friendships. Because I know for a fact that if you're still in this business, then you have created a good friend out of somebody on your team. So talk about that. There are so many women and men out there that just need some friends, and this is the place for it. Another one, I'm always showing different books that I'm reading, and just kind of getting to sit and hang out and, talking about, again, why I love my job. Always when I'm sending, gifts to challengers, it lets them know that I'm invested in my team. It lets them know that I love to shower them with gifts and that I'm, going to cook. And it just gives them, you guys see how it kind of molds this idea around what my lifestyle is as a coach. Making healthy recipes, going and showering them with little gifts and things like that, and just getting to kind of make my own time and my own schedule. So those are some examples of kind of what I do and what I mean by quote unquote sprinkling coaching into your post every single day. So as you're taking notes, if you have questions about that, I totally have answers. So we can talk about that when I'm finished in just a minute. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is having a marketing strategy. Your recruiting marketing strategy is what I call it. So you have to be organized and you have to be proactive. You cannot be reactive. In this business, you cannot sit and wait for a bunch of things to happen and then try to go back and try to fix everything. You need to be proactive, because that's what's going to set you up for success. So creating a marketing strategy for your team. So whether you have coaches underneath you or whether whoever is the leader of this team on this call, I'm sure you guys have a strategy, and I heard you talk about a team calendar, and that is golden. And I'll show you an example of what my team calendars look like in a minute. But having a time of the month where you're going to set a week or a day or whatever you guys do for your recruiting strategy, and have that set every single month. So no matter what, when you can be running. For my team, they know when we have new coach boot camp starting, they know what week we're going to have our live open house and our sneak peeks and everything. They know when that is, so that they can be inviting and putting girls and guys into that group when it's open. Posting, and that's what I just talked about, new coach training boot camps, and I'm going to talk to you in a minute about what I do with that. And this is something different that we have started doing in the last probably 4 or 5 months, and it has changed just the degree of with which my new coaches get started and how they are just soaring from the beginning. So I'm excited to share about that. And then also just make sure everyone's on board. Make sure everyone is following your lead. If you guys are all on the same page and everyone is doing the same thing, it just makes for a smoother transition. It makes for more unity, and it makes for more success when you're all kind of doing the same thing. So this is an example of what my calendar would look like. I give them, some reminders up here that all the boot camps start at this day. I have some different events. This is one from a couple months ago where we had quite a few trips going on, but I give them some deadline ideas, we do live power hours, and I just give them some ideas. And then also talk about, different ideas for posting and things. Because a lot of times I think new coaches kind of get overwhelmed, but they're like, I don't know what to post. So for me, I like to kind of give them some ideas. And then just some reminders, do your vital behaviors and everything. And this changed to be 4 before this calendar was over. Okay, so what about sharing the coaching opportunity? I'm going to share with you what I do on my team and how I share about coaching. And then I kind of love to hear about you guys and what you guys do. So obviously, we want to share the business with others, and that is the way to build your team. So for the longest time, for the first probably 6 months of my business, I was really focused on, ooh, somebody's really loud. I don't know if you guys can still hear me, hopefully. But for the first about 6 months of my business, I was really focused on the challenger side and bringing in lots of challengers. And that was great, but I was so scared to share about coaching. And then finally, all of a sudden, it just clicked. And I was like, okay, I love this. I know somebody else would love this. I have to just go for it. So I'm sure so many of you can relate to kind of being like nervous. It's the scariest thing, right? To put yourself out there and talk about your life and your journey. But it's the most important thing to be able to bring on people who relate to you and who want to also build a business with you alongside you as your partner and as your teammate. So you want to provide your team with opportunities to share the coaching business. So for me, what I do is I host one-on-one conversations or Zoom calls with potential coaches. And that could be with coaches that are talking to my coaches. If I have a girl who's maybe a teacher, I'm like, hey, I started as a teacher. I was teaching for quite a few years, but I quit my job within 8 months of still teaching and starting Beachbody. So a lot of times will talk to a lot of girls who have coaches coming on that are teachers, and they're like, I don't know if I could build this business. And I'm like, you can. I was pregnant and taught the entire time and commuted and was gone for 13 hours a day. You can do it. So for me, that's really helpful for me to kind of relate to some other coaches and talk to them about my story. And a lot of times when you are personal with them, you guys, it is so much better than just sending them a long message. If you were to just give them all the bullet points of what coaching is in a message or a text message, it's just a bunch of words coming to them. But for me, I find that when I get on a voice message or I get on the phone with them, you guys hear me right now, I'm like so passionate and pumped up, and they get a million exclamations, and that is so much more powerful than text. So I always encourage my coaches and myself to, and I am actually, you probably don't believe me right now, but I am the shyest person in the world. So for me, this business has done wonders. It has helped me to really come out of my shell and put me in a lot of situations that normally would not be something that I would do. Like I would not have said that I would have done this call 18 months ago. I would not have believed you if you told me that I would be here right now. That's how shy I was. So for me, putting myself out there and getting on the phone helps me just to kind of relay my message and my story so much better. Then we talked about sprinkling coaching into your pages. So that has been the main thing that has been successful for me. If I focus on sharing every little bit about coaching, even just in those posts, you guys saw what my life is like. From watching those posts, somebody who's watching gets to see that my life is just, it's free. I get to go run errands. And for me, I talk a lot about like, oh my gosh, I can go to the doctor's office and not have to take off sick leave and find a substitute teacher and make sub plans. For me, that was just mind blowing. So I share about it. I like to think about where I am now. And I tell my coaches this all the time when they don't know what to post about coaching. So this is my challenge for you. When you sit and you think about coaching, I want for you to think about your life right now as a coach, whether you're still a full-time worker, whether you've quit your job, wherever you are. I want for you to think about what you are able to do right now, what you feel right now, how you are as a person right now, as opposed to where you were before you found coaching. And I know for a fact that from there to here now, there's something that is different, and that's what you can share about. That is what you need to portray in all of your posts every single day. Because, Facebook and Instagram, they're like that. The algorithms are different now. So people only see a few posts a day. So I have a lot of coaches too that'll say, well, I don't want to post about coaching every day. I'm going to annoy people. No, you won't. They're probably only going to see one of those posts a week. So So that's okay. And you know what? If they don't want to see them, they can unfollow you. And if they do see them and they continue to watch you, now after being here for 18 months, I've seen people that have said no 5 times, and I've seen people that have never liked or commented on a single picture of mine, and now they're a coach. And so you just never know who's watching. So that's why I always say it's important to sprinkle stuff into your pages every single day, because your life is your coaching story. That is your biggest advocate for this business. Okay, so moving on. Hosting sneak peek groups. Obviously, we all do that, or I do backstage pass events. I used to do Facebook groups where it's kind of a 3-day group, but now I do a backstage pass. I host an event and I start posting at 7 a.m. and we stop at 7 p.m. and there's a post an hour, and then it stays open for the rest of the month, and people can go back in and check out some of the posts, and that's been really successful for us. Also, I'll do live webinars. I'll take one of my leader coaches and I'll hop on a call, and we'll just kind of go through our list of what we normally would talk about coaching, and just kind of go back and forth and talk about it. And then the good thing about that is that we have that recorded, and they can use it and send to some of their potential coaches. And I kind of do that every month. So my leader coaches have that, and they get to feel like a leader too. It puts them more in a leadership position and allows them to get to share that with other potential coaches of theirs. And then we have a couple just kind of built up throughout the months. Now also with the live feed on Facebook, I love to do that and go live, and you can go live in a group, you can go live in an event, and that helps so much to really create that raw energy and a group and with people who are interested in coaching, and you just get to talk about coaching. So, and sometimes I'll make a video if I'm having a day where maybe something just really moved me from my team, or I just really felt compelled to share about the friendships that I made on my team. I make a video about it and I post it, and a lot of times it might not get a lot of comments, it might get a couple likes, and it might get a ton of views. You just never know, but it's good to get that out there, because it not only does it create more traction for you, it helps you to be a better leader and just be more comfortable with sharing your story, but it's just good to put out there because you never know who's watching. And then another thing that I do is create a YouTube playlist, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, and I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but this has been something that has been so easy for me. So when I'm kind of in the middle of hosting a sneak peek or a backstage event, and it's already passed, and I can easily go tag them in there, but one of the things that I like to do is instead just say, hey, I'm going to send you my YouTube coaching playlist. It's all the videos that I would normally share in a sneak peek, but it's in one place. I'd love for you to look at it, tell me what you think, and then if you're interested, fill out my coach application and we can talk some more. That has been the most seamless transition for me, and it helps a lot for that person who's interested, just to get all the information in one place. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And that's been something that's kind of another way that I share the coaching opportunity. All right, let's move on. So this is how I get all these new coaches that now I've brought in that are in my target network, how I get them started right. So the main thing for me, and I talk about this a lot, is making sure that everything is duplicatable, and having a good onboarding system for your team. So for the longest time, I was kind of feeling like, oh, this is okay, it's kind of working, but I really want to do something different. And so after being in some of my leader pages with some of my elite coaches and just kind of tweaking some things around, this is when we came up with this idea for a 7-day boot camp for our coaches. So on my team, no matter what you do, obviously, you need to just make sure that you guys stick to it and your whole team sticks to it, and that it just is seamless, so that no matter what, if it's a new coach that just signed up and they have been a coach for a week and they already have somebody wanting to sign on, that they know what to do. They can go to a folder somewhere and know exactly what to do and sign up their coach, because they have a new coach system that they can follow. And that was something that we didn't have before. And so I found myself shuffling around for months and months and trying to help them get everyone set up. But now we have this onboarding system that is so seamless, and it's really helped our team get started right. So no matter what you do, make sure that it's just solid and everyone can duplicate it. So in my onboarding system, we have a new coach boot camp, and then they get a new coach welcome email, and for me, it's a Google form. And then we do a getting started right Zoom call or a call or a chat. But this is what I do. So I send a new coach welcome email form, and I'm going to show you it here. Hopefully you can still see this. Okay, so this is called a Google form if you don't know what that is. And the reason I love it is because it opens up every single response that I get goes into an Excel spreadsheet. which I love because for me, I was trying to scramble around trying to find everything, and now it's just all in one place, which is beautiful. So here I kind of, obviously you guys will have a link to this and you can look at everything. I'm not going to read everything to you, but I kind of just tell them a little bit about, hey, you know, I'm so excited that you're here. You have everything that you need to be successful. And I just kind of tell them a little bit more about our team, give them a couple pictures, and now this is interactive. And I like for them to have something interactive because it makes them stay more engaged as they're learning all this information. And again, they're going to get more detailed information in their trainings, but it's nice for them right when they sign up. A lot of times they're like, okay, how do I set up my website? What do I do? How do I find my Beachbody on-demand program? How do I do all this? And this takes away all that back and forth that you have to do, and it makes them have it in one place. So I get their name. I have them start working their program in their meal today. I show them where to go to get it. I make sure that they understand the idea of being active. I almost never get that question anymore. I used to get this question all the time. They'd be like, wait, I have to stay active? Like, I thought I just got a discount. I don't understand. And now they get all this information in one place. I make sure that they never miss a wake-up call because they're getting the text messages now. I make sure that they download Zoom so they know immediately that's how we host our team calls. Again, adding more value to Shakeology. That's your biggest thing as a new coach. You need to know how to be able to share about Shakeology and add value to it. And then it's a checklist. So they check off and make sure that they understand just to kind of give themselves, you know, progress as they're going. I make sure that they know how to find answers to their questions. Obviously, yes, I'm an open book and I will help them with anything, but I want them to also know and be able to save all these different links to the FAQ and coach relations and such. I make them take a tour of the online office and I set up their website with them. They have a video to watch. They set up their before picture and their direct deposit. Again, it's just kind of nice because they feel like they have something to help them step by step get ready to go, rather than just when I signed up as a coach, it was just like, all right, here you go. And I sat there and I was like, I don't know what to do. So for me, it helps so much to have something like this. And I did a survey with the first time I did this with my new coaches, and they were like, oh my, and it was after I had onboarded them with our old system. They were like, this is phenomenal. So this has really helped to streamline this. So again, you're going to have all of this, and you guys can actually request access to edit, and you can make it your own, and you could use it for your coaches if you chose to do something like this. I talk a little bit about how we earn. I make sure they kind of understand the idea of Success Club, and again, this is all talked about way more in our training. But again, just nice for them to hear those words and understand what that was, because again, that was something that I did not have when I started as a new coach. We talk about being Emerald. That's always my go-to thing for new coaches, and we'll talk about that soon. And then a little bit, they're always my first question from new coaches again is, how do I sign up my spouse? What do I do about that? And so this just kind of gives them an idea, because you'll have some of those eager coaches that want to sign up their spouse immediately. And so this is something that has helped that too. A list of how to enroll. This is just a bunch of information. And then at the bottom, I want to know about them. I want to know when their birthday is, and I want to know where they're coming from, what their occupation's like, about their family. I want to know their hobbies. I want to know about them so that I can relate to them a little bit more. And I want to know what they're nervous about and what they think their strengths are and what words describe them, because I want to know more about them. My goal is to help them and to relate to them. And I also kind of want to know what their level of coaching is going to be, so that I don't push them harder than they want to be pushed, but also so that I can hold them accountable. So if they're not working as hard as they said they were, you better believe I'm going to check in with them and say, hey, what's going on? You told me you were going to work this amount of hours a week, and I haven't really seen you post this week. What's going on? It kind of helps me to gauge with them. And again, all of this goes into a spreadsheet so you can easily see everything, and then it's done. So then they get a little response from me, and that's the end of it. So this has been something that over time, I was thinking of all the questions that I was getting from new coaches before I had something where it was all in one place. And these are all of them compiled. And it has been such a lifesaver for me, but also for them. It's really helped them to feel more confident and feel like they at least know some of the lingo before getting into their training. Okay. Let me go back to how I present this again. Hold on. Can you guys still see that? Hopefully. Okay, so that's my new coach welcome form. That's what they get. The second they say, hey, actually, I signed up as a coach, I'm like, awesome. Okay, hey, in the next 24 to 48 hours, can you fill out this form for me? And then I'm going to get you in your new coach boot camp. So then we move on to that. After that, obviously, I'm sure you guys do the same thing. You welcome them into the team page, and I make a cute graphic, and I say a little bit about them, things that I learned in their Google form that I get back from them. I make sure that they have a really warm welcome and make it feel like they, that they're known and that other people can relate to them as well. Then I add them to their 7-day new coach training bootcamp. And so if you want all this information, I can give it to Brandy. It's extensive. So I'm not going to go way too into it. But basically, when I sat down and I thought about a new coach, I realized that a lot of times the biggest mistakes and the biggest worries that they have is the social media side. And so this bootcamp is really just to get them started right. I give them a Facebook facelift. I teach them all about the privacy settings and how to make sure that it looks nice. They create a nice cover photo. They make sure that they have a professional graphic. They make sure to take down any pictures that they wouldn't really want people seeing. I make sure they know how to make their profiles public versus private. All that kind of stuff to really clean up their social media sites. They learn about the do's and don'ts of posting. Don't post just stock photos and how to make really useful and meaningful posts, different apps to use. Then the third day we go through and we craft their story, and I work with them step by step to really answer a list of about 6 to 7 questions and figure out what their story is. Why they probably know why they want to be coached, but they don't really know how to express it. And so together we work with them creating a story. They post it and I kind of tweak it with them. And then on that 4th day, they post it that evening when there's going to be a little bit more traction. I go through a day of how to deal with objections, whether it's money or time, and I give them some ideas and some scripts and examples. And then they get another day of just information on products and how to sit with somebody and really figure out what the best thing for somebody is, what the best product and best way to help them is. After they go through that boot camp, this also has helped me to kind of I can be really wishy-washy and be like, oh yeah, like that's okay, no worries. And for me though, I was finding that new coaches, if they don't have this structured system, they might not ever get started right. So for me, if they don't go through that 7-day boot camp, if they don't check in every single day of those 7 days, then to me, that lets me know that I've been wasting my time. I kind of feel taken advantage of. I've been sitting here saying, I'm going to give you 100% attention for 7 days. And I need you to do the same. And so if they don't get through all 7 days, then I have them repeat it again. But if they do get through it, then they have a Zoom call with me. And so a lot of times they love that. It's just 3, 4, 5, sometimes it's more, but a nice call with me. And we focus on success starters and Emerald. And a lot of times they're like, okay, so what now? And so we get to talk about, honestly, the biggest part of your business is your vital behaviors. Share and be a product and share your story. And so from the beginning, they're getting started right with this mindset of needing to just share about their life every single day. And then we also go into making sure that they have a really great Power Hour tracker. And I'll show you guys what I personally use. There's a lot of them floating around, but I just tweaked one that I've been using in the last month or two, and my whole team is using it now because they love it. Okay, and then the next thing we have from my upline team, I personally did not create this, but it's just another, I'm sure you guys have one too that your team uses, is just a 21-day training, and it's self-paced. And so that's how we used to do it before. They just went into that on their own. And for me, I like for them to have a little bit more accountability. I like for them to kind of have a little hand to hold as they get started. And for me, that has helped. I would say probably 85% of my new coaches hit Emerald by the end of that first month that they sign up. So it's pretty awesome because they are really, really held accountable. And this has been something that's helped that a lot. And another thing that I do is I immediately get them into a message thread with their success pod. And their success pod is the other new coaches in that boot camp. Whether it's all of my new coaches or whether it's my coaches that are in there, that immediately gives them this smaller sense of community and family within our larger team because they have people to relate to who are doing the exact same thing. So they're checking in and saying, I didn't finish day one's homework yet, did you? I'm so nervous about posting my story. And they're all like, oh man, you got this, you can do it. And so it just creates some great camaraderie and some good fellowship between them, which has helped a lot. Then one of my other things that has been really good for almost just not really, obviously not recruiting, but I guess kind of recruiting, but kind of keeping those coaches and making them want to build more. Obviously, if you're not creating a good team culture and you're not making them want to stay with your team and feel excited and so pumped up to share their story and share this thing that we call coaching, if they're not feeling that passion, then they're not going to feel any drive to go share it, right? So for me, team culture has been huge. I focus on this so much. And obviously this year has been a lot of trying to kind of hone in on my recruiting with the new coaches, but team culture is such a passion of mine. And so we do a lot of cultural activities that are centered around consistency and accountability and encouragement and so much positivity. There is no place for negativity in my team, and they know that. They know that they can bring that to me on the outside, but nothing negative is ever posted. It is so supportive in my team, and that is definitely a culture that I have worked hard to build, because there are so many coaches, even in some of my leader pages and stuff, where just so much negativity and complaining can come around. And so I really have tried to kind of just minimize all of that and focus on the positive. And then recognition, which has become our fourth wild behavior this year, and that has been huge and something that I have been working on really a lot this year. And that's even just in the last couple of months has made such a huge leap in my team. So recognizing coaches, and let me tell you some of the things that I recognize. And it can be like a posted picture, but sometimes I'll be in a message with one of my coaches and they'll be like, I just sold my first challenge pack. And I'll just turn right back around to the team page and be like, hey guys, Nancy just sold a challenge pack, her first one ever. Congratulate her. And everyone's commenting and posting and making her feel awesome. Or, hey, Amber just signed up her husband, he's already hit Emerald, and things like that, just making them feel comfortable. Whether it's somebody just posted a scary story, or somebody quit their job, or somebody is not going to be returning to their job, whatever it may be, I'm always recognizing them. And then obviously the normal Success Club and week leg volume and team volume and top recruiters and new coaches that are joined, all that kind of stuff. Creating that culture of growth in Success Club. And I'll show you a little bit what I do about kind of keeping the momentum going all month long through Success Club. Then Success Pods, message threads are my jam for my team. We have pods all over the place. So I've got one for diamonds. We have one for girls right now. We have girls who are pushing for diamond next week, and they have been in this group for 2 months, just fostering relationships and cheering each other on. And it is incredible to see that team culture come out behind the scenes too, not just in our team, but it's as they're building relationships and stuff behind the scenes, all of these coaches are feeling more empowered to share their story and to recognize their coaches and to congratulate other coaches because they're feeling more successful themselves. And so message threads and Success Pods is what I call them, has been a really huge factor into not only bringing in coaches successfully, but getting them started right and continuing to maintain them. I do competitions and incentives with my team, whether it's something for gift cards or whether it's we're having a diamond retreat in June. So a lot of people are working towards this incentive of a retreat, or whether it's an extra day on Summit, whatever it may be, just something fun that everyone can relate to. And then I check in daily with them. I share the daily Darren, let's say that 10 times fast, the daily Darren Daily video. And I also have a Vital 3 post that I make every single day. And I randomly, every week, I'll pick one winner of somebody who has been checking in a lot. And I might send them a PD book, or I might send them a cute notebook with a pen, depending upon the person. And then obviously I just want to make sure to say that your energy and your vibe drives your team. You guys can see how I start talking with my hands and get so pumped up, because it really does matter. What you give off to your team is what they're going to take and run with. So that is something to remember all the time. If you're negative and you're feeling down, they're going to feel that. And I have a story to say. So probably a month ago, I lost one of my diamonds, and it was like just a fluke thing. And I'm like, what, you're quitting? And I let that get to me so bad. I was so upset and so frustrated. But I had to keep moving. And so I actually went live one day, and I started talking about it, and I ended up crying, and I was like, all right, so I just want you guys to know, I'm your leader, but I am not perfect either. I have bad days, and this is how I'm pushing through, and this is how I continue to talk about it. And so honestly, just kind of leveling with them too. And I don't know where you guys are in your business and what your rank is and all that kind of stuff, and how many coaches you personally lead. But no matter what, it's just so great to share with them. Honestly, let them know that you're human, and then create this culture of no matter what is getting me down, I'm going to push through, and I am going to be passionate and share, because I have a gift, and I want to be working with whoever wants to be here with me. And if you don't, that's okay, because I know that I have something awesome to share, and all of you who believe it too, let's get them. So that's always a really great thing to remember too. Whatever your passion is and your energy and your vibe, that's going to drive your team, and they're going to feel that too. So these are a couple examples of what I was just talking about. So over here, it's a really simple post. And this is what I do every single day, a vital behavior post. So I say, and I do it in the morning. And so they have all day to comment on it. Say, happy Thursday, let's check in. Find and connect. How many new quality connections did you make? Invites and follow-ups. How many people did you invite and follow up with? And then personal development. What PD did you do today? And so throughout the day, as people are checking in, it's getting bumped back up and people are getting excited and commenting. And somebody might say, I connected with 100 people today. I liked 100 different, or I commented on 100 different things on Instagram or whatever crazy number. And people are like, man, girl, you're awesome. Or dude, I can't believe you messaged that many people. And people are getting so pumped up and they'll say, wow, because of you, Allie, I just messaged 10 more people, so thank you. So that kind of just helps build more confidence and more just keeping the ball rolling. Then on the right over here, I do something like this for every single month, and it says, pay your results forward. Thank you for changing my life is the quote. And then comment below each time you change your life with a challenge pack in May. On our team, we really focus on challenge packs being the idea of changing life, not success points, not about us. Remember, it's about them. And so it is so neat to start tallying up the numbers of people that we've changed, of lives that we've changed. And so this post constantly gets bumped up and bumped up. And obviously I have a post with it that goes with it, but, and it just gets bumped up throughout the month. And it's really cool to see people be like, oh my gosh, I sold another challenge pack today. I changed, Gabe's life. And I started him with Insanity Max 30 because he wants to lose 20 pounds before his wedding. And it's just really cool. They tell a little story about their challenger and their life they're changing. And that's been something really cool to kind of make that meaningful, make that name behind that challenge pack sale be really, really meaningful. So that's been something fun that I do to kind of continue support and bringing in that team culture. And then my last thing I wanted to say about just, again, so we've talked about recruiting and bringing those coaches in and getting them started right. And this is kind of a little bit more about just like maintaining them and keeping them going, keeping them excited and letting them have that passion for coaching and letting them feel like they're confident in what they're doing and like they're set up for success. And so over here, this is what I personally use for my daily power hour. And a lot of my coaches have adopted it as well. And it's kind of, a little bit higher level so that they're already thinking in that leader mindset of, interacting in their interest groups and recognizing coaches and challengers and checking in on their trainings. I want for them to be actively thinking about what it would be like when they get to more of a leader level. And so this kind of just allows them to do more. It makes them send some more invites and some more follow-ups and add more friends. And so the A means for accepted when they get a friend request accepted, and then the M is for messaged. And so this is, I have this for them and they know exactly where it's at. The last thing I do for making sure my new coaches are set up right and also just maintaining all of my coaches and making sure that they always feel supported was when I started as a coach, I didn't really have a lot of support. And so I, from the beginning, was like, I want to keep everything that I do and I want to have it in a place so that when I start getting my own coaches, they don't have to stress out and feel frantic and not have, information or not have ideas. And so for the very beginning, what I started doing was I created a Google Drive. And so it's the Inspiration Crew is my team name. And in here, you can just see a screenshot of all the different folders. And obviously it goes to folders and everything. But there's a challenge group folder. And within this folder is literally every single challenge group I've ever hosted, with every single posting schedule and every single graphic I've ever used to give them ideas. There's things on challenge packs, different programs and what comes in them. All kinds of stuff, helpful training things. I put our monthly calendars in here. Underneath the coach resource folder, that's where they have the whole system written out of what we do with new coaches. So again, you can just see that I want them to have resources at their fingertips so that they never have to feel like they're not supported or feel like they don't know what to do, because they can immediately go and see everything in there. And it also allows me to say, oh, that's in the Google Drive under the coach resource folder. Go look for it first and let me know if you find it. Not only does that make them have to kind of learn the folders and everything, but it also allows me to make them start kind of taking ownership of their business, which has been really helpful to keep them, getting started right and maintaining their business and moving forward and focusing on building more than, having to think of everything up from the very beginning. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. So, again, the last kind of thing I want to say is that your long-term growth and that residual income, what we're all building for, to be able to have that freedom, is a direct result of building your team. You have to be bringing on new coaches every single month if you want to build a solid team and be just moving forward in your business. I have a lot of coaches who will say, well, I just couldn't keep my diamond, or I just couldn't keep this. And I say, okay, so what happened in the last 2 months? You didn't hit Success Club and you didn't bring on any new coaches. So of course not. So when you have that mindset of constantly bringing in new people, the negativity that you may feel, or the lull or the plateau, that just gets washed away with the new blood that comes into your team. And so for me, that's always been my goal, to bring on new coaches. And so depending upon where you are and what your goal is, you're going to have different goals of how many coaches you want to bring on a month. But the important thing is that you're bringing in new coaches, you're bringing in new people. And if you're sharing and sprinkling and coaching like I've been sharing about in this entire presentation, there's no way that somebody who needs to hear your story is not going to be inspired and want to join your team, because they want a piece of that. They want a piece of that excitement and that passion and that life and that freedom that you have, whether it's that you're getting to stay home with your kids, or whether it's just that you found friendships, or whether you found financial stability, whatever it is. There's somebody that's watching that wants a piece of your story, and you have that answer. You have that solution for them. So, and then again, constantly be in trainings, be a student. Everything's changing. Social media is changing all the time. Don't ever get frustrated with it. Just go with the flow and learn the new things, and don't stop learning, and be a doer. Don't just write down all this information that you're hearing here and then just tuck it away in your notebook. I used to be like that. I used to just take a million notes and they'd just sit here on my desk and I would do nothing with them. And I would wonder why I wasn't moving forward like I wanted to. And I would realize that I'm not putting into action all the amazing new things that I'm learning. So don't be complacent. Use the different things that you're learning in your PD and in your trainings and videos that you're watching, and just take little pieces, not everything, but take little pieces that you see could make your life easier and could help your team more. And just focus on that mindset. Focus on taking it away so much from you. It's great to have a why and a reason that can remind you why you're doing this. But the days where you get too wrapped up in what you're trying to do for you, where you start trying to control people, that's when you need to focus on that mission and the reason why you're doing it for other people, because you have a solution to help so many other people. And that is what helps me the days where I'm like, oh, I have this goal and I can't get them to do this thing. And I'm like, that's not what I need to do right now. This is for them. I need to help them how I can help them. And in turn, helping them is going to help me no matter what. So that's all I have for you guys. And I know I kind of got off track in the end, but I wanted to kind of wrap it around with just sharing about, how to kind of maintain that culture and maintain those coaches and keep them doing well. So I'll stop sharing in case you guys have any questions or anything. I know that was a lot of information. And again, I'll give you the whole PowerPoint.
Wow, Ashley, that was incredible. I'm going to have to go back and listen again so I can take more notes. Thank you so much. I'm just so honored that you shared with us so many of your inside tools and resources and exactly the anatomy of your business and what you're doing with your team. So I'm just so grateful to you for that. I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Specifically, and I know you and I don't know each other, but this is my team. I'm their upline, and was 6-star qualifying until today. I lost rank, so I'm super bummed out about that, but I'll get it back. I know it's 2015 Elite, so our team's doing some amazing things, and we're working really hard to really get rid of some bad habits and push forward this year with new resources and new systems. So I've got a couple of personally sponsored coaches, and I know there's many on our team who can relate to this, but they hold back from sharing about the business because they're not where they want to be financially yet, and they feel like they've been coaching for so long that they should be a lot further than they are. And they constantly have this mindset issue of, well, I can't share about the business because I'm not quote unquote successful. How do you address that with your coaches who are having that struggle?
Yeah, you can maybe find one post where I've talked about money in my entire 18 months of coaching. Nobody knows how much money I make. Nobody knows anything about how successful I am. Nobody knows anything about that from my posts. All that they know is that I love my life and I love the freedom, and they just hear that word. They see my lifestyle. I don't ever post about money. So when I have coaches that say that, that's when I always tell them, I'm like, okay, I want for you to sit here and I want for you to close your eyes and I want for you to envision right now, how do you feel? And what are you doing now that you weren't doing before you were a coach? Because a lot of times just doing that helps them so much. They're like, oh, well, I'm a happier person, or my marriage is better, or I feel more confident, or I have more energy, or I have friends now. Like I needed friends, or if they're a mom, like I felt like I had no worth other than being a mom. And now I feel like I'm building something that's my own. So for a lot of times, you know, I let them know that I'm like, dude, I've literally never talked about money. And so I'm doing okay. So I know that you can do okay without sharing about money. That is not what people care about. Yes, obviously that is such a wonderful byproduct of this business, but honestly, sharing, that's what I focus on, is sharing just the lifestyle of it, because there's so many people that want little aspects of that. And so when I focus on just sharing my life and all the different little tidbits that are happening because of coaching, that's what's been most successful. And so I always have my coaches think about that. You know, how are you feeling now? What are you able to do now? What do you feel now? Who are you now that you weren't before? And that a lot of times kind of helps break through that barrier. And they're like, oh, actually, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I have changed in these last 5, 6, 12 months, you know, however long they've been coaching. So posting about money is not the only thing that you can do as a coach. There are people that are watching have no idea what ranks are. They don't know how much money you make. They don't know any of that. That's not what's important to them.
Absolutely. I'm so glad the way that you said that was so on point with what I've been trying to tell them, but you said it differently. So maybe they'll hear it in a fresh way and be able to run with that.
When someone else says it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like when someone else makes you a sandwich, it just tastes better, right?
I always say that about salads. I'm like, man, when someone makes me a salad, it's just so much better than me taking all that time to make it myself.
Absolutely. But not our Shakeology, right? We have to make that ourselves.
No, that's not
for sure. One last question for me, and then I would love for other people on the call to ask questions. How much time would you say percentage-wise do you spend working on your own business, bringing in new coaches, getting those new coaches started off right, compared to the percentage of time you spend on your team of coaches that are already established and going, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it varies because it was different months ago when I wasn't where I am now. Now we have almost 720 people in my downline, and so there's a lot more managing of my team now. But what I like to always let my team know is that I am in the trenches with you. So, you know, I put my name on the success board leaderboard with them. I put my name on the volume board with them. I want them to know that just because we have a large team now, just because we're an elite team and we're doing wonderful, that's not me, that's them too. You know, it's all of us together. And so that doesn't mean that I'm just sitting here and not doing anything. You know, I am constantly recreating new things for them and helping them be successful. And so, you know, there are times where in months where it's very 50-50, and there's a lot of times where I spend more time with my team than with me, because this year I've been using my life page a little bit more. So I'm able to kind of invest in and make some sponsored posts where it brings in, you know, new coaches and specific moms who are looking for what I have and what I have to offer a lot easier than me before I had a life page. But I still work on my business a lot, but I really invest time in my team, because I know that if I get them set right, and I know that if they feel supported and they feel loved and recognized, then that's going to help the team as a whole much better than me just focusing on me. It's not about me anymore. It's so about them. So it's definitely 50-50, if not, 70-30 or whatever the equivalent is. So It just kind of depends on the month.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. Those are the questions I had. Do you guys, if you'll just kind of wave at me, I'll unmute you one by one, because if I mute the whole crew, it's going to be crazy loud. Wave at me and I'll unmute you. You guys take your chance. Ask Ashley your questions now.
Yeah, anything, or if it's not about what I shared about, I'm here. I'm yours.
Okay, so. Christy Crawford, you're up first. I'm unmuting you. All right, you're good, Christy.
All right. Thank you so much for all the tips tonight.
You're welcome.
You said something at the beginning, and you just mentioned it as well, about your Facebook like.
Yeah. Oh, you're frozen. Say that again. You're breaking up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I said at the very beginning, had to come on a little bit late, but you said something about your Facebook page, and you were going to expand on that, and then you just said something about sponsored ads as well.
Yeah, I don't do ads, but I do, now that I've been building my like page from the very beginning, I was told to make a Facebook like page. And so I never did anything different with it though. Like whatever I posted on Facebook and Instagram, I posted over there too, so that over time I just kind of had stuff just building up so that it made it feel like a good page. And then just the beginning of this year is when I started using it. So, over a year into my business. And I've started maybe once a month I'll do a video, and I usually have Hudson with me, and I do like a mom boss, girl boss search video. And I just talk about under 2 minutes, just about really quickly about what this, I don't say anything about Beachbody, just talk about coaching and my lifestyle and what I love about it. And if you're a mom and you're looking for more accountability and support and you would love to make fitness your business, then, drop your email below, kind of thing like that. I do one video like that a month. And then usually I do lots of workout videos with my husband and I, and usually I'll boost one of those videos and just kind of get some more views and more likes. But I don't invest a ton of money on my like page at all. I don't do Facebook ads. So I don't know anything about those.
That's a good question. Let's see. April Gately, I think you were next. Let me unmute you. Okay, go ahead. Whoa, wait. Yeah, April, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this wasn't for me, but Jessica had to get off the call and she asked it twice. So she wanted to know how you got to where you are so fast while working.
So I have a lot of people asking that. So when I started coaching, I was teaching full-time middle school Spanish, and I got pregnant like a month and a half later, and I was working. I was probably gone from the house like 13 hours a day and drove a lot. So in the car was my PD time. So to and from work, I listened to personal development or trainings. If I was in a training, I'd watch, not watch, but listen to the YouTube video. Then I always tell people I was like the worst teacher my last year. Teaching, because pretty much in every single little crack I was coaching. So I had my power hour tracker printed out, and if I had a couple seconds, I taught middle school, so a lot of times they had projects and things that they were doing. If they were doing that, then I was at my computer, or I was sitting there and I had my phone behind my book, and I was like sending a couple messages and checking stuff. But really, I just worked in every crack that I had, because once after a few months, and I realized, I'm like, wow, I really like this coaching thing. Like, I didn't know anything about coaching. I was like, yeah, I'll try it, whatever. I was like, I really like this. And then I started to see, oh my gosh, I think I could do this. And so we talked, Spencer is my husband's name. We were like, all right, I think I can do this. And so we set a goal, and I was like, I'm not going back to teaching. If we get pregnant, I'm not going back. And so with that in my mind, and that was my goal, I busted my buns because I was not going back to teaching. So I worked every single little crack that I had. And when I got home, I made sure that he understood that I was going to have to sacrifice a little bit of time. And so he would watch TV or whatever, and I'd sit next to him, and I'd be doing my trainings or doing my work or finishing my power hour. And I didn't go to bed until that was done. And I'd wake up early. We do our workout in the morning. We just kind of made it work. And I did not make excuses, because for me, that was a big enough reason to work my butt off, because I knew that, if I did, then I could be close enough to where I needed to be for me to not have to go back after the end of the school year.
Good stuff.
That's awesome. One thing that I heard, I don't know if you guys know Jackie Bull from Longview, Texas. She's really, really awesome. She spoke at a Super Saturday event recently, and she said that when she was working full-time and trying to build her business too, and juggling and struggling with, so many different things going on, when she would start to feel stressed out or frustrated or feel like she didn't have enough time, she would picture herself, or she would actually go look into her little boy's eyes and say to him, you are worth this. You are worth me figuring this out, fighting through this. And when she got to the point where she could quit her job and be home with her kids full time, it was always goes back to those moments when she let everything else go and put those blinders on and looked only at her child and said, you are worth me doing this. And, that just really stuck with me for so many working moms that are trying to figure this out. And some people don't want to quit their job, and that's great. More power to you. But a lot of people do want to be home with their kiddos. And, I heard that as kind of the undertone in your words, Ashley, too, that you wanted it so badly to not go back to teaching that you just made it happen. So great advice. Does anyone else have one more question? We'll take one more, because these East Coast people, it's getting really late for you guys.
I know. My husband just said to me, it's almost 11, right? I'm like,
yeah, and I'm in Central Time, and I'm ready to go to bed. So Okay, Carrie and Peter.
Well, we're brand new, brand spanking new.
I was fixing to say, I don't even know you.
You will.
Who's your upline?
Brandy.
Okay, awesome.
Aw.
Great.
Yeah, we met Brandy in Missouri.
Awesome.
This is
Okay.
how I met at our marriage retreat a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's you. Okay, cool.
That's me.
awesome. Well, welcome.
I guess one of the things that I'm I am confused about is how to go, what exactly is the
Challenge.
the challenge, and how do you put that together? How do you get people there? How do you go about the whole challenge?
Sherry, you are so new. You are going to learn all of that from me. And a big part of that is just going to be being a part of the challenge group that we're just starting.
So just hold off for a little bit.
Yes.
It's all going to make so much more sense to you as we go through. We just started prep week on our challenge group. So it's going to make so much more sense to you as you go through it with me.
Okay.
And we're going to cover that. And Ashley, you're welcome to share anything that you have with that. But you're so new. Like, I'm so thankful that you're on this call and that you're learning all these things about coaching. But it's going to all come together for you a whole lot in the next few weeks.
Right. Okay. Thanks,
Yeah,
Brandy.
I have a lot of new coaches that ask me that. I'm like, just get through the challenge group first, and then you're going to know. So honestly, the best way to learn what a challenge group is to be in it. So you are right where you need to be. That's a better job than I could do. Anything else? Awesome.
You guys.
Ashley, thank you so much. I think I've already had people posting on our team page going, OMG, like that was the best call. Like I learned so much. Can you please share the PowerPoint and all that? And I told them I'm going to share everything that I can get. So
Yes, absolutely.
amazing. And the thing is, I just posted on Facebook. I tagged you. What I love about this company is that you get no direct benefit to your business from being on our call and sharing so freely and so graciously with us. And I so appreciate that you do it anyway, because that's the heart of the company. That's why I fell in love with this company, because of the people that are so giving and so willing to share what has worked for them. So we are so incredibly grateful for you being willing to share this. And I've already taken your form that you sent me and personalized it, made it our own, because it is amazing. And the fact that you do that just means the world to us. So thank you so.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. It helps so much. So hopefully that helps you guys. I know since you said you're kind of recreating something, so hopefully that helps a little bit. It's worked for us, so hopefully it'll work for you.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This was great. It's nice to meet you guys. And of course, I love Brandy. So this was awesome.
Awesome. And we'll be sure and share the recording of this call with everybody. Ashley, I'll send it to you as well in case you'd like to pass this on to your team or share it again in the future. And please, if there's anything we can do to return the favor, if you need somebody to speak on a team call or team up and do a team training with you, please don't hesitate to ask Brandy and I. Brandy's an amazing speaker. If you ever need someone to share a testimony or talk about overcoming obstacles, she is stellar. So can't say enough about that. So guys, it's late. We're going to wrap up. Ashley, thanks again. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys be blessed and have an awesome evening.
Bye. Thank you.